Okay, I see that we are in the chat, y'all. Today's going to be exciting. All right, we're almost at 5 minutes, giving people a moment to come in. Man, I have something prepared for y'all. So, hello, Elaine, Twin Cities, you're back. Michelle, Abe, good to see ya. Good to see ya. Catalina, yes, I'm looking at yes, come on now. Amanda, we're all here. This feels like being in a room of some of the coolest people. This is awesome. So last week we had a tech coaching hour where people can come on and ask questions, and we talked about GPTs and automations. And I thought, well, if we're going to build a GPT, I'm going to demo something. I might as well pick from something that we talked about, right? Because we were all there. We talked about it. It's going to be familiar. And hopefully this thing that I've chosen will be easily applicable. And you can see how you can use this kind of stuff in your own day-to-day, in your own business. So without further ado, we're going to talk about what this GPT is. So last week, Mikki came on and talked about her having a GPT for helping her and her community find connections and send emails out to people. And I liked her GPT because it talked a good bit about the emails and kind of tracking connections and a little bit of data management and stuff like that. So I was like, you know what? I think I can demo how to use GPT as a partner to, write those emails and find those connections. And then I can also show you on the other side of it how to automate it so that the GPT is then like actually doing the stuff for you and not just staying in ChatGPT. So how do we get it to like interact with Airtable on your behalf, right? And so that's going to be the fun bit at the end where I show you what happens when we go beyond ChatGPT and start connecting things and having it do work for you. So let's dive into the thing. Oh, I don't think I've done a formal introduction of myself for a while. So if you're new here, I'm Blessing Richardson, tech strategist, and I help small teams use their tech better to not just make revenue in their businesses, but also become more efficient. And a lot of what I've been talking about lately is around AI. And so if you've noticed the theme of these last few events, there's a lot of GPT, a lot of AI. There's going to be more of it. So let's go ahead and find my screen so I can share it. Can everyone see my screen? I'm trying to make this a little smaller. Let me know. Hey, Michelle. Okay, great. We can see it. So I also have a list of things that we're going to do. So before we dive into building, I like to define the purpose. Whenever I work with anybody on building tools and systems, hey, Bill, I see you in the chat. Whenever I work with teams, we really want to get succinct on like the why we're building what we're building and who we're building it for. And when we skip that, we end up having to redo the build. So Mikki wants a GPT to help her manage her connections. And what this looks like is analyzing transcripts from those connection calls that she has, whether it's group calls or one-on-ones, and then having some sort of report for those connections, right? So if I'm on a call with Mikki and she realizes, you know what, you would be a really great contact for Michelle, and that was picked up on during the meeting, well, we want to see that back in the report. And then actually help with drafting the email, because if you're going to be good at doing referrals and stuff like that, you're probably going to have a way you craft those emails. We can have GPT help you do that. And then the next thing we're going to do is break down each one of those three things into some features. Now, my goal is to try and get through all three of them for time's sake, which I think we can. I'm not really too worried about it. So we're going to go through the transcript analysis. We're going to go through the connection report and the email draft generator. What you're looking at here is how I've broken down the GPT. And so we'll talk about the first one. The transcript analysis, well, we're going to start with the transcript because it is the basis of all the things, right? We're going to have a meeting, and the transcript is like the tangible evidence that the meeting happened and all the data from it. So we're going to start there. And ideally, a user would drop the transcript into the chat raw. You're not going to have to do anything to it, just going to be able to give the transcript to ChatGPT. And then we want GPT to parse it and find things for us. Possibly things like what type of insights are there, who made the insight, who was speaking, did they share something that was a goal or an ask or a win, or are they looking for help in their business? And so these are fun things where I can tell the GPT in the instructions where if the user says something like, I have a transcript, go parse it. What are the insights here? It will clue in the GPT that Mikki's trying to do a transcript analysis. So that's what the triggers are. kind of like an automation trigger, but it's like an AI trigger, right? Trigger words that we want it to indicate what it needs to do based off of the words it sees. So let's get started with that. Now, I think this version of ChatGPT does not have speech to text. So we might be doing a bit of typing. Let's see what I have over here. I might have some stuff to speed us up. I want to stay in browser land because I think it's easier to build GPTs that way. So, or maybe my speech to text dictation will work. So first of all, I'm going to tell it what I want it to do. Let's try. I am building a GPT that's going to help me analyze transcripts. So the first thing I'm going to do is give you an example of one of those transcripts. So we're going to go and upload. Not those. We want my connector GPTs. And then we're going to give some of the content that Mikki gave us. Now, this is real content because I wanted to show y'all what real stuff, right? And so Mikki was kind enough to share some of her information with us, her templates and her transcripts. So this is going to be real. Mikki, you're going to see it in real time. Okay, let's go ahead and, let me give it some more instructions. Do not summarize the transcripts, but tell me what types of referral, I'm going to misspell that, but that's okay, or personal/business connections you find. The general and the types of connections. Yeah, I don't want it to spit out like all the stuff. ChatGPT has been having a brain fart this morning, so hopefully it will continue to play nice with us. And then, okay, it's gonna go. Let's see. Did that work at all? I've noticed that they are pushing out a bunch of updates, y'all, and I think we're getting caught in the update window right now where things are buggy because they've made a lot of changes, particularly with their new general or auto model stuff. So bear with me. This is some live stuff. All right, so I'm going to try this again. Not the templates, we want the transcripts. And this time I'm going to copy and paste my prompt just in case it clears it again. I'm giving you some transcripts and I want you to analyze what types of referral connections or relational connections are made during these calls. I do not want you to summarize the transcripts at all, but really go through and figure out who is connecting with who and what types of needs or concerns are coming up on these calls. Because I'm going to have you help me create a GPT. I'm going to just copy that just in case we lose that again. There we go. Okay, so it is picking up on the types of things that are happening on these calls right now. Mel asked how picky is ChatGPT with spelling errors? Not really. I mean, unless it's like a spelling error that changes the context of the sentence, it figures it out. Elaine said, am I using 4.0? I think 4.0 is still the default model, but again, we're getting caught in this update window, and I pay quite a bit of attention to what's going on. And so ChatGPT is so they're going to change the way their pricing tiers work, where if you're on the $20 a month plan, you'll get to kind of choose a little bit what, actually, that's not how they worded it. Essentially, the cheaper your plan is, the less brain power your account gets. However, the models will try and be dynamic now and choose the model for you. So I'm going to assume that this is using 4.0 because that's generally the default model. I'm not specifically sure at this moment because this account is using this version of ChatGPT while my normal account is not. So we're going to have fun today. But if I want, there we go. If I go to choose model, it tells me. And so you can change it if you want to. Yeah, Abe is noticing the buggy behavior too. I can imagine this is a whole massive update that they're rolling out. I'm using speech to text dictation on Mac, Abe. So there's the FN function on your keyboard. Mine is, you can change it on your Macs. I don't know if yours is the same, but if you double press it, then my computer goes into voice to text mode. And so it's just native on my computer. And that's what I use if I don't want to mess with all the other tools. Okay, so this picked up a couple of things: peer collaborations, emotional support, visibility and opportunities, global cross networking, facilitated connection infrastructure. Ooh, yes. Mikki created internet intentional pairings. Of course, we did that. Okay, common things, right? It's picking up all of these things. So this is fun because today we're going to focus on the connections, but clearly you can see that we could also have a process where we take a temperature of like the community after every call. We can still take that insight if we wanted it. So this did a really good job. Now, I'm going to hone this in because we got some work to do. So let me go back up. Let me go back up. So now we have it analyzing the transcript. But in truth, I just don't think I want it to analyze it any old kind of way, right? There's certain things that I want out of the transcript when it comes to insights. So if I'm looking at this as a process I'm going to do over and over again, I'm just going to restate what I just said. If I'm looking at this as something I'm going to do over and over again, and the fact that I have a CRM that I'm going to build insights over time with, every time I give it a transcript, there's certain things I want to see. I want to see the speaker's name. I want to know who is speaking. Maybe if we can grab an email, possibly. We're going to focus on names for now. What type of thing are they sharing? Were they talking about an offer in their business? Are they asking for help? Are they sharing a goal in their business? Is it a personal or is it a business insight that we found? Maybe I even want the timestamp. Maybe I even want the call date. That way you can read the transcript and tell me when it happened. And then also the larger context around the feedback. So we're going to try and get really concise here about what I want. So yeah, I know I can use voice mode. I just think voice mode is slow. I prefer to dictate. So we're going to go in and do this. Okay, so what I want you to do now is go back through the transcript and write a certain kind of analysis. I want you to find all of the statements that were made that sounded like somebody was talking about an offer in their business, so some new product or service. They were asking for help, they were offering for help, or they were sharing a business win or goal. As for the type of insight, we're going to focus only on business related things. I don't want any personal things right now, just business. As you find it, I want you to give me the timestamp and the date of the call itself. And then also, if I need to know context around it, I want you to define the context. So this is going to go now. This should have been a group call for the transcript. As a matter of fact, the file that I gave this has multiple calls in it. So we're going to see how good it is. Technically, it might be better to just give it one, but we'll see what happens here. And ideally, that's how that would probably work. You'd have a group call, you do it after the one call, and then it would make it easier to figure out the call date. So this is going to go, and I like this breakdown. So I was very specific, by the way, about what I wanted to say when I was like timestamp, call date, speaker, type, the statement, the context, because this is what I was actually looking for in the output. And if it didn't do it this way, I had prepared a template for it. Look at this. It even went ahead and made a spreadsheet. Didn't need it to, but okay. And so let's go ahead and look at the spreadsheet. It pulled out about 18 insights from the transcript. Now, and it's all from one date. That's what it said. Okay, cool. I'm not going to fudge too much on accuracy here because if I gave it just one transcript, it would be more accurate. So I am not upset about what I am seeing right now. This looks good. Mikki, do I get a thumbs up so far for what we're pulling out of this? Let me know in the chat. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. Let me close this. And let's look at this statement to see that this is the kind of thing we want. Have you ever thought about working with or partnering with other copywriters too? So I don't know if that's the exact kind of insight that I want. So let me give it some information. This specific sample that you picked is simply a question asking, or like it's like a thought, right? It was a open-ended question. I'm looking for where people are actually soliciting for help, saying that they need help, that they will offer help, that they are talking about something that they're selling in their business, or a goal. So looking for more concrete things, not just kind of esoteric quotes. So we're going to have that go, do its things, do the thing. And I think after this, we're going to have a pretty good, vibe for the prompt itself, the instruction. And so you can kind of make this better by just giving it examples, right? So if I had said, you know what, or if I was Mikki and I'd done this before and I pulled a couple of quotes from a transcript, I would have told it, this is the kind of quotes that I like, right? And it would have been better at picking a few things. So it went through and it picked 2 of them now. Let's see. It said, okay, so somebody said, okay, I have 1,000 thoughts. I'm going to try to compile them. Okay, that was a big ask. Great. Thank you. So happy to be here. It's amazing to share this. And then the context. So tell me the context of which this came up in. Contains a business service, a request, a referral mention. Great, right? So it's picking up all these things. This is awesome. Now we're going to start talking about turning this into a prompt. So I need you to help me write a prompt for a GPT that is going to analyze any one transcript I give it in this specific way. I want the same summary of all the insights, and I don't need it to create a spreadsheet or a CSV. I just need it to pull all of these things with the details I said before. So the timestamp, the call date, the speaker, and it should be called speaker, but it should be the value of the speaker's full name. The type should say business or personal. So it should only be one or the other, business or personal. And then I want to rephrase statement and call that note. So that should be the note. And it should prefer exact quotes if possible. And then for the context, I want it to find context that's specific to the quote that was made. So that way it can clarify what was being said at the time and give it, of course, more context. And then before, I just told you how to get me better quotes and statements. I said that I don't want things that are fluffy or esoteric. I want it to be quotes or insights that represent something very concrete that somebody shared. Or if I'm the speaker and assume that I am Mikki in these transcripts, then if I call out anything, even if it's not super concrete or if it's a little direct or indirect, then it needs to also be here because I'm the host of the event. We are going. So I'm looking in the chat right now while this is going. How are you able to give verbal commands? On my keyboard, there is the FN function because I have a Mac. And whenever I double tap, it goes into dictation mode. But all modern laptops nowadays have that setting. So I would just Google it. If you're on a Windows and say, how do I use speech to text? Mac. How do I set up my speech to text with a shortcut key? It'll help you do that. Okay. So let's go ahead and look at the prompt. All right, so you're analyzing a transcript from a community connection call. Okay, so I've been telling it it's going to be community calls, but it's missing some context because it could be one-on-ones. So I do community connection calls and I do one-on-ones. And oftentimes when I do one-on-ones, I could be mentioning connections on the call with that other person. And so it's the same analysis that needs to happen. It's just that instead of looking through multiple people, you're probably only looking through the flow of 2 people in conversation. Let's give it some more context. And then let's go through. Elaine, is your connection still glitching? Yeah, girl, Michelle, don't type. There's no point. That's why I don't even like the advanced mode when she talks back. I'm like, my brain is going. We're in ideation mode. Like, let's go. Okay, so this is the prompt. I'm going to save this prompt because that is the prompt for one feature of our GPT. Awesome. Now we're going to move on to the next one. So I'm going to go back into my little working document here. and paste my prompt. So I'm going to keep track of it. I'm just going to hit copy. Okay, paste it. Now we're going to move on to the next one. It's now the connection report. So what I was thinking about the report specifically for Mikki is that once we have like pulled all the quotes and the insights in a transcript, the next thing to take it over the edge is to go through and actually make those connections. And so let's go ahead and try that. And to make this better, like I said before, I gave it a lot of information. And so I'm going to go through and just give it one transcript to make this better. So I'm going to clean up this file so it's not so noisy. Okay, so I just edited the file on an off browser because you didn't want to see me play with a bunch of words. And so now we're going to give it one file. I'm going to say, hey, okay. So I want you to go through and find 10 insights from at least 4 different people from this particular transcript, following the instructions above. Let's try this again. Let's try time. I'll reload the conversation, it said. I'm so happy I copy and pasted my prompt. But also my keyboard is still in dictation mode. All right, let's try this again. Great, so we're gonna go through and it's finding it. And it's actually like doing this whole format in code, which is fine. It's fine. I didn't really ask it to write it in JSON, but it's fine. It's not actually code. This is like it's a text file. It's a format for organizing data. Which I'm not mad about now, but I guess to make this prettier, I might say. Okay, so I don't need this in JSON quite yet. I actually just want to see this in bullets, where you start with a timestamp and then underneath it, you just have like bullets for all the different items. Okay, so hopefully, there we go. Now that's nice and easy to read and it feels like we're not looking at code anymore. So it's going, great. So this is looking good. I think it's missing a few details, but we'll keep moving for now. Yep, pulling out all the business stuff. Great, great, great. So now I want to ask it some questions about finding connections. I want you to go through the transcript and look for any connections where people could be referred to each other, either as relational connections or business connections, based off of what they said. Also, pay attention to anything Mikki has said outright on the call, where she mentioned that she could refer people to other people or establish connections and introductions. It didn't finish because I clicked somewhere while it was dictating. Okay, so let's stop. I'm going to try this again. Come on, ChatGPT. This is a hard day to innovate. Let's go. I have to refresh. This has been my morning, y'all. Has been the morning. Okay, I think we're making good time. There we go. It's going. It's going. It is a hard day, Elaine. Woo! The way I was almost pacing this morning, I said, what is happening? Okay, so we have... Oh, it's going back through and doing the insights. No, I want it to do the connections. So now I want you to go through and find connections. And so let me rephrase this. For the report, I want you to pull out the connections that were made on the call. So as Mikki, did I dictate that somebody needs to be introduced to someone else? Or are there some natural connections that came up on the call? I actually want you to break it down into sections. The first one is the section where Mikki made direct or explicit connections or referrals, and break that down for who's who and the relevant insights for that. The next one is that if anyone else on the call shared any insights or any referrals, actually not insights, referrals. If anyone else mentioned any referrals or introductions, then I want that section to have their breakdown. And again, be clear about who's referring who or introducing who for what reason. And then the last one is the AI suggestions. If you notice any referrals that could be made, that's where I want you to make your suggestions. Now I want y'all to know I have not spoken with Mikki about this. I'm just going off the premise of what we talked about on last week's call. This is such a hard day to innovate. Do a refresh. Let's go. Let's go. Come on now. We're almost there. We're almost done. Bear with me, ChatGPT. We might skip the last one because the last one's pretty easy. If we need to make up for time. I'm going to save my prompt off to the side. Give this another hard refresh. Yeah, I had a feeling I didn't save it. Now let's paste it again. There we go. There we go. All right, y'all. It's going. It's going. This is what we're looking for. Mikki, what do we think so far? Chat, what do we think about this? This format, this breakdown, do we like it? I like it. I think it tells me what I would need to know. Okay, I'm also a stickler about formatting, so I'm going to give it some more specific instructions. So I don't need you to use dividers between each of these. Actually, what I want to see is an H2 heading for Mikki's referrals and then everything that you said, but I love your format, so that's fine. Like I want to see Mikki's referrals with an H2 heading and then have the title of that referral and then all of, all the elements that you broke down before, which would be the timestamp, the name, the connection about it, the connection type, why it fits, the breakdown, and the referral opportunity. Love that format. Keep that. But put Mikki's at the top of the H2. The next one should be other referrals made from other people with an H2, and then list all of those. But again, no dividers. And then the last one is the AI analysis of what connections could be made that might have been missed by people. And again, that should have another H2 heading to say AI recommendations or really AI suggestions. I like that. I'm going to save that prompt off to the side again, just in case. There we go. Now my formatting is doing what I want it to do. Okay. Those H2 headings, when I said that, it's what made this large. And so I want that breakdown. I want to know the quantity and maybe scoring. Yes, Elaine, that could be definitely an analytical part to add. Yeah, how strong the connection potential, that could be it. But I would love to do that, but it would require a bit more requirements for me to do it well. So if I was sitting down with Mikki and this was us doing a power hour or doing a build, I would ask her, how do you actually rate and rank your connections, right? What are things that you look for? Because some people just don't go, oh, there's a business opportunity. There might be a thought to say, are they aligned in values? Did they say anything on the personal side or their worldviews or their values that actually scores them on how much they overlap in values? Is it an industry? Are they in the same industry? That could be a criteria. Are they in adjacent industries, so same or adjacent? Or are they in the same horizontal, but maybe not the same vertical, right? So we might be good partners. There's some centricity there around what we're doing, but it's not very clear that we do the same thing. Probably score those differently. Size and phase of business, right? Not that the size indicates the relationship in every context, but that might be a data point that I could listen for throughout these meetings and add that to my knowledge base. So once you have more criteria, then the scoring kind of writes itself, because you can tell it to rate those things in like a 1 to 3, 1 to 5, and then tell it, even if you want like a formula to rate like to calculate the strength of the connection, you could do that. All right, so I love this format. Great. Now I'm going to go for the win with the prompt. I need you to write me a prompt that will do exactly what you just did, matching my specification for formatting, whenever I say I want a connection report. Now you see how I'm not like bending over backwards to write these prompts? Because like I could, but what I learned, especially being a programmer and an engineer, when I first started using ChatGPT, I was so specific in trying to tell it how to do the thing that I realized at some point that this was really difficult and painful. And so instead, I switched the way I thought to just be more specific on what I want, right? What is it? What is the output that I want? What's the experience that I want? And I'm going to let you figure out how to get that to me. And if I'm going to ask you a few times to see what you think, and I'm going to tweak what you tell me. And so I found that that is the most successful way to work with the GPT, specifically when like I don't have the algorithm. So I like this prompt. Right. Look at that. It matched my format. This is good. So we're going to copy that. I'm going to copy that and save that off to the side. And now we're going to go with the email generator. This is where things get really, really fun. So I know that y'all probably have email templates in your business. If you have SOPs, you for sure have things like that. You might have email templates saved in your Gmail and stuff. Well, Mikki has a few templates that she uses to do these connections. And so we're not going to do all of them all in one go. I'm going to pick one template. We're going to do her intro email template. She has a follow-up template, and she has some examples of that, how to make like direct connections, all this other stuff. I'm telling you this too, because if you're like trying to figure out how to network and make rich connections, like Mikki's your girl, okay? So I'm leading with that, you know? Let me go in here and say this is the one-to-one intro template. Save that, and now we're gonna come in here. Great. So now we're gonna give it some context. So after Mikki sits down and does her insight, she does her connection report, she generally wants to go and write that introduction, but she does it via email. And she has some email templates. So I'm going to give you one of her templates as an example. You'll notice that it has a title for a template and it has placeholders. I want you to help me craft a prompt for a GPT so that way it understands its goal is to take the insights and connection report and then help Mikki write the best email given each connection that she specifies. So it's not going to write one. It's not going to write like 5 emails all at once because the quality is going to be really trash. Instead, it should anticipate that Mikki will give her a specific connection. And if Mikki does it, it should ask. It should ask to say, hey, Mikki, which connection do you want me to write the email for? And get that context. And then before it writes the email, if there are placeholders or missing spots in the email that need context, it should ask her to clarify before it writes the email. Also, it should be mindful to match Mikki's tone and style in the emails itself, so that way it's writing consistently like Mikki. Okay, we're gonna again save that just in case. Look, I'm adapting to today's environment. We just gotta save the prompts in case we gotta start over. In the chat, okay, so Mikki said this is really helpful in just a sheet or a base. It feels impossible to synthesize. Yes, I understand. It can be. And so that's why I thought to start with the insights first, because when you design any process, system, tasks, it's all about breaking it down. And the AI becomes a lot smarter when we give it small things to do. And so I said, you know what? Let me start with the insights, just all the general insights, right? And then go through and tell it to make the connection so I know what it's basing the connections off of. And then I want you to write the email. And so we come up with all these little artifacts along the way now. We have just the raw insights from every call. And then we have like the analysis of that, or the report of it, right? So not the transcript itself, but the analysis of the connections being made. And now we can take those and compose it into an email. Try relearning the conversation again. Do it again. We're actually making great time. Okay. So let's see. You are helping Mikki write introduction emails. Your role is to generate one high quality intro email. Yes, good. Follow this exact flow. Great. And so wait for Mikki to provide specific information. If she hasn't, great. Ask her. Once the connection is selected, then you're going to go through and see if there's anything missing to write that email template. Then ask her. And then we want to write the intro email. I like this. Ensure it reflects genuine connection, not a copy-paste job. I see it's picking up on values here. And remind you, this is not my normal ChatGPT account. So it's not loaded with all my stuff, right? I didn't actually build or practice any of this in this account on purpose. So you're seeing what it's picking up on in real time. And here it's like never write multiple intro emails at once. Yes, do not overthink. Look at that. So it understood that I wanted it to really get specific on comprehension. That's great. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to paste this back into what I've been doing on the side here. Now, this is where we can make a choice. I can make a choice to make 3 different GPTs. One that does the analysis, one that does the connection report, and one that does the email. And we could. But I'm going to try and put this into one. And so what I'm going to do is I'm prepping something off to the side, and you'll see it when I paste it. So give me a moment here. And I want this to be really smart about knowing which activity to do. That's the caveat of trying to do it all in one go, is that I want it to be smart about it and not get overwhelmed and do the wrong thing or skip around. And so it's all about how we write the instructions. Okay, cleaning this up still. And now, almost done here. I'm going to come through. Okay, I think we're good. All right, so I'm going to tell what I wanted to do. So as you've been working, I have been keeping track of the prompts in a separate file. Now, I have 3 different prompts, and I do not want the GPT to get confused about what it's doing as it moves through these 3 different tasks. And so I need you to help me write an instruction set for a GPT that tells it the fact that I'm going to use it to do about 3 different things. It understands the context of what I'm doing. And if it's not sure which task I'm doing, it knows to ask to clarify. And then it knows that when I'm starting a specific task, it really needs to stick to the instructions that are related to that task, right? I want it to help me from sprawling all over the place and jumping out of order, and being good and encouraging about helping me to get through the whole flow whenever I am working on a transcript. All right, and so I'm going to copy all my instructions into a separate file now. I'm going to say instructions. And now we're going to upload my version of the instructions. It's going. Again, I'm going to copy this prompt in case we lose it. So happy I did that. Let's try that one more time. It's going. I feel like the retries and stuff, it is building anticipation. Let me just put it that way. It's making us wait for it, okay? Don't fail me now. We're almost there, chat. Come on. I'm about to do the big reveal. The wow is about to come. Lord bless us. Okay, it's back in the chat. We got links going in the chat. Let's move it. Let's move it. Share, connect. Yes. Abe, I know. So Relay is an app that I use to do business automation. I've talked about it a bit. Abe uses it as well. And I'm going to show you a different tool actually to automate custom GPTs after this. That I think is a lot more powerful because Relay and Zapier and Work Auto and all these other things, they're missing a key feature that makes it hard to build directly into ChatGPT. So I'm going to show you. Yes, go ahead and hit those connections, links in the chat. Mikki said we need ChatGPT to let blessing be great. Okay, y'all are tickling me. All right, so this went through and it created an instruction set. So yes, it understands that it's a 3-task system. It understands that it's a specific flow. And here it is. You are supporting Mikki. Let's go. It knows that the first thing is the connection. The 3 core tasks are connection report, intro drafting, prompt building. No, you failed. Let's try that again. I think you totally missed it. We've only been talking about 3 tasks. I'm using you to help me make the GPT, but now I need you to help me make the GPT instructions. You're conflating 2 things, so I need you to stay focused, okay? The 3 things that we're trying to accomplish are, let me go back to my other window so I say this out loud so it does not get confused anymore. Sometimes I get scoldy with it, you know? It needs to be told. It's off its game. We need a dedicated task for transcript analysis, another one for the connection report, and the last one for drafting the connection email. Those are the tasks that you're going to focus on. Those are things that I gave you in that instructions markdown file. Focus and write a dedicated set of instructions for a GPT that will help Mikki do all 3 of these things. Don't worry, I copied my prompt. Sometimes you gotta be scoldy. Well, I hope they settle down this rollout by tomorrow. There we go, yes. There we go. Get it to refocus. Okay, now it's going. Great. Transcript analysis. Awesome. Okay. Connection report. It's understanding. So now we have our set of instructions. Right. I'm just skimming this again. Transcript analysis. Understands that the goal is to go through and pull out all these things. Timestamp, call date, speaker, type. We're going to expand that a little bit, but that's okay. Looking good. We have the role. We have the connection email drafting, doing all the things, task switching. Okay, great. So, and then general behaviors. This is great. We're going to take that and roll with it. So we're going to go through and now we're going to create a GPT. I'm going to paste all those instructions right in here. And we're going to remove that little bit. This is good. I'm going to add something here. Refer to your knowledge files for information to complete your tasks. And it's got to do that. Okay. So we're going to hit close. I'm going to call this connector. And then I don't need web search, don't need any of those things. What I'm going to do is upload some of these files. So we're going to upload that one-on-one intro template. And I think that's all I really want for this right now. Let me see. Okay. Well, for now, we're just going to create the GPT if we can manage that. Ooh, y'all. Struggle bussing today. Struggle bussing. Okay. Let's refresh this. Let's try and upload that template. Ideally, I would have multiple templates. And again, I'd like to be intentional about what I name my files. So that way the GPT knows what files to look at. So that it does help it when we do that. All right, so we're going to update. Now that I have that file, and then we're going to go in and we're going to try and do this. Now, this GPT is light on instruction too, because we're expecting to use it within ChatGPT. We want a very collaborative workflow where the GPT is kind of clear on what it's doing. So I'm going to go to my connector and it knows the process. It knows what we're about to do. And I get to go back and forth with it and judge stuff up in case, it misses a few things here and there. And so what I'm going to do is upload that one transcript again, March Madness. I'm not even going to give it a prompt. I'm just going to submit it. Let's see if it even knows what to do. Yes, search for knowledge. Great. Just to confirm, what connection would you like me to write? It assumed to write. So I want you to analyze the transcript for insights. Okay. And if I wanted to make that faster, I could add those connection starters we talked about last time. So that way the GPT has a button that I can just click and it knows what we're going to do. So now it's going through finding those insights. Right. Cool. It's going through trying to find what it can. It's finding Mikki. Let's see. All right, so it's going to go through and take its time. Now, if we actually wanted to make this like super smart in a different chat, for the sake of time, I'm going to start this in a different chat, so we'll see. I'm going to say, I wonder if I can use, can I use deep research? Okay. I want you to research this transcript for all the possible insights and format them for your instructions. So deep research is a feature that AI will go through and actually like go away for minutes on end and like do a research paper for you. Like it's really, really deep. So if you want it to be very thorough and analytical, to Elaine's point last week, you probably want to start using deep research more. And it says that I have, okay, and you on the $20 a month plan, you get like 10 a month and they reset. So that one's going to run in the background. Ooh, actually, I want you to use deep research to find the insights. Oh, well, let's see. That one might work. So this one's done over here. It's gone through, pull out a couple things. We're going to rock with it. Now I'm going to say, I want you to, it even suggested it here. Let me know if you want to go on with building the connection report. Yes, let's do the report. Awesome. Okay, the report is going. It's doing the thing. This is what we want to see. This is what we want to see. Let's see if we can get this guy doing the research. Nope, we're going to abandon that ship. It's not going to sail. We'll let it go. Okay, this is going, doing the thing. I like it. I like it. I like it. Okay. And now I want to help it. I want it to help me draft this email. Okay, which connection, right? Look at that. Now it's reminding me to pick the connection. I want to do Ashley and Catherine, referrals made by others, and it broke it down to sections, by the way. Mikki's referrals, referrals by others, and then AI suggestions. And it suggested this connection because Ashley was moved by Catherine's story of resilience and health transformation. So that could be a good look at that. It's even suggesting the opportunities. Let's go. But, well, if I'm Mikki, I think I'm smarter than the AI. So maybe I'll pick my own, We're going to go with Delaney and Faith. So great. Let's try that. Let's hit a refresh. And so we're going to go a little over time here because I want to show you something that I did in Airtable. So now Mikki uses Airtable, right? And something that you might want to do to model all this information is get it back into Airtable, right? Because having it all live in ChatGPT and having the emails live in your inbox doesn't really give you the data hub for the business that you really want. If you start to build data into your business, you start to do really cool things with it. So if you're going to do all this work, you might as well do it in a way where you can recycle all the work that you're doing and enhance your relationships or connections, if this is what you do, or anything else for that matter. Let's think about creating data, not just information. So I've created 3 tables where we're going to keep track of our contacts here. We're going to keep track of the connections, which are the connection emails that we send. This is all AI generated, so don't worry about it. Connection emails that we send and the insights themselves. We can track all of the insights, right? So we have a schema set up for this. The summary of the insight, the contact, the note itself, what the category and the type of insight, the timestamp, the call date, we're tracking all that. The connections, again, these are the emails. And so we're tracking the emails, the contacts we're sending the emails to, and the reason is really like the body of the reason for the connection is the email itself here. And even when we send the connection, we also have the contacts, keeping track of all the contacts, right? And so now that I have an email, it would be really, really cool if I can send this. And so what I have is a smart connector. Let's see if it'll load. I have a smart connector. And what the smart connector can do, I can ask it to please save the insights. So it's going to run, it's doing its thing, and it should ask me to confirm. So it's going to talk to my little service that I've built here into N8N, not Zapier, not Relay app, not even I love Pipedream. And that's usually for more like engineering heavy automations. I love that. But I've gone with N8N because I want to keep this highly accessible to anyone who's used to using something like Zapier. And then 2, it is better at building agents and bots and these kind of dynamic automations that integrate with other tools. And so this is where we're going with this. Yeah, Cronda's like, I knew it. Yeah, you were probably guessing what system I was using behind the scenes to get this going. Yes, so I want to confirm. I want to go talk to my automation. Now, you're like, what is happening really, right? Like it's going to go talk to something, and what is it doing? I'm going to show you here, all the way down here. Do I have a screenshot? I lost my screenshot. Ay, oy vey. Let me get my screenshot. We need a screenshot, y'all. You got to see what's running behind the scenes. Recent, screenshot. Okay, there we go. Let me see if I can refresh this now. There we go. So here is what is running in N8N. Whenever I ask it to save insights, it's going to get those insights. It's going to create the contacts in Airtable for me. And then it's going to summarize the insights and send them back to ChatGPT so I can see them. Same thing with the email. It's going to take my draft of my email and put it into Airtable for me. And so that way I can send it from Airtable and make any edits. So it's doing all this work behind the scenes. I'm using N8N on cloud, not self-hosted, because I did not want a server to manage. So let's try this again because today is hard. Please, okay. Let's do this. Save the email draft. Let's try that instead. Woo, ChatGPT. You're making me fight for this today. Let's go, let's go. Yes, talk to my connector. I'm going to show y'all how I built this. Give you a little preview behind the scenes. And so the way we can do this with ChatGPT is that whenever you make a GPT, not only can you give it instructions, you can define your actions, right? So sometimes people get the misconception that you can't automate that much with ChatGPT, and it's not true. You can have, yes, ChatGPT can be an advisor, but you can give it actions over here that actually tell it how to interact with other systems, right? And so what I've done is that I actually used their GPT to help me build this. So I didn't write this from scratch. But I told it, hey, I have these 2 webhooks in N8N, and these are the URLs, and this is the data that it needs. And ChatGPT wrote this whole specification for me. Like I didn't have to write that by hand. It did it. And so what happens now is it knows how to save the draft because it will run, I'll click that, and it will go into this workflow and save the draft. And then I can click Save Insights or tell it to save insights, and it will know how to do it. And it just connects it with my webhooks. And so actions are a way to tell ChatGPT, when I ask you to do something, this is the webhook you send the data to get the thing done. We're having a hard time over here today. Let's see if the test will work. Oh, confirm. Okay. So we're going to confirm it because I didn't want it to just go do stuff. So I told it that it needs to confirm before it does stuff. It's communicating. There we go. It did it. And come on, let's do it. Let's do it. Give me something good. Okay. So it was able to create that email for me, and I can now go see it in Airtable because I have it. There we go. So it was able to put the subject in there. It has my contacts in here now. It has that email that was drafted. So even if I went back and forth and said, hey, this email is not like perfect. Let me work with ChatGPT to get it right. Let me have it go in and tweak it. Awesome. Great. And then I can say, you know what? Now that I'm done, go send it to me. And what I have behind the scenes is a button that when now in Airtable, I can hit send email and it will trigger the workflow to send the email for me through my Gmail if I wanted to. So this is like the second part of the automation. Using ChatGPT to do the substance, the meat of the work, AI is really good at that because before we were on our own for coming up with the content, for coming up with the ideation, for finding the connections and doing the analysis. GPTs or chats, like AI chats, are really, really good for collaborating. But when you pair them with automations that you're used to doing, right, now it just removes all the work. You're not clicking between screens and trying to stitch systems together anymore. You can actually bring the two together by using the ChatGPT prompts and the action interface, right? And so you put these two things together, and now I don't have to like muddy around with Airtable directly anymore. It just does it. And so yeah, that's how that worked, y'all. I was like trying to race to get to this demo to show you the complete thing because who wants to just, type in ChatGPT? We can make it smart. I wonder if we can get it to go back to ChatGPT and do our put all of our insights in there because that's actually the meat of what I wanted to get to as well. Writing the email, drafting it, and sending it, we can do that. But Mikki, for the history of your CRM and like the health of your community, you actually want to track all these different insights over time. And so we're going to try and ask it to do it. Can you save the insights from the meeting? So I want to try and get as many as it can. And so we want to put that all into N8N. Amanda asked, could you do something like get it to analyze your Gmail accounts for questions? Yes, you can, right? And that's what I wanted to lead into when we start talking about N8N. So instead of just talking about this in theory, let me go ahead and see if I can pull up N8N for you. I might have to change my window for y'all to see this. Well, I will. Not might. I think I definitely will. Okay, great. We have the confirmation. This is what we want. So now it's going to go through and take all those insights and add them to Airtable as well. And so, yeah, the goal, I think, for Mikki, because you have profiles, member profiles, my suggestion is that in the N8N automation, N8N is like a Zapier. It's a more powerful Zapier. And I'm going to switch screen now because I keep talking about it. It's just easier to show it. Also, in case GPT times out again, we'll look at what we need to be looking at because it is having a hard day today. Okay, so let me show you. N8N is far more powerful when what you can do, and its pricing is much more gracious. So you can actually build these fully automated workflows. Like if I was going to build an AI team member that does work for me, I would do it in N8N, not Zapier, not Relay app, because of the cost. And like I want it to be more sophisticated to do more things for me. And so what I've done here is I've gone in and I told it, you know what, whenever I save that draft email, actually I want to focus on the insights. Whenever you write the insights, I want to take that information, get all those insights, create the contact in Airtable. And here it's kind of similar to what you're used to seeing in other apps. Like we're mapping the data. We're saying, go put in the email in Airtable, put their name in Airtable. Okay. We're saying, you know what? Now that we have that, go track the insight, put the summary, put the contact, put the note, put the type, the timestamp. We're mapping all the data through and dumping it into Airtable. Now, the reason why I said the profiles matter is because if I had a profiles table in Airtable, I could literally add another step that would go into Airtable and say, go and try and find the user profiles. So let's try and do a search. Let's search Airtable and try and find all of the user profiles that might be related to the people who I'm getting insights from. And I could have it bring back the profile information, give it back to ChatGPT in my chat. And now ChatGPT no longer has just the transcript. Now it has the information on my member profiles. And so when it does a richer like email, it can pull the profile and say, you know what? I have Blessing's email address. I have her website. I know like the name of her business now. And so I can tell it, when you do an introduction, I want you to name this person's business because now it has that information. And so putting things in the databases to me, or using tools like Airtable, and then building your workflows into tools that are more dynamic and that can interact, not just take data in. So like Zapier, it takes data in and it does the thing, and then it just does it, right? N8N lets you do the thing. And then at the very end, you say, hey, I want you to respond to ChatGPT, to whatever triggered the webhook, send them a response, tell them what happened. This is what's really powerful, because now I can do anything in here. As a matter of fact, I can add more AI steps. We're going to wrap up in like 2 minutes. I can do more AI steps. I could actually put in not just Airtable. I could add another ChatGPT and use AI here to do more analysis, right? I could have it do much more stuff. It can generate audio. I can have it directly transcribe the file here in N8N. And so now my AI assistant, my connector GPT in N8N, it could be attached to ChatGPT. It could be attached to Slack. It could be attached to Telegram. I could even trigger it based off an email in my inbox when I label it. And it can run in here and run all the stuff and analyze it, extract the contacts, put the insights in my database, right? And help me build this knowledge and this network. And so this is why this is so powerful. But getting started with ChatGPT, I think, is also smart, because if that's where you work and that's where you're doing a lot of that data work anyways, that's where you're chatting and collaborating, then there's no reason to not plug it back into ChatGPT, because you're going to write all the things there. You're going to judge it up and make it all pretty. And then you want to have a database of your data. And so now that it's in Airtable, all these other automations, connecting the data, doing further analysis, all that's possible, right? All that's possible. If we had like another hour, I probably would have gone into how to put member profiles into Airtable, how to get it to help you write that weekly or monthly report of like your members in your community, right? There's so many things you can do once you centralize your data and start to automate it. So while my brain is going off on different product and GPT and AI ideas, we're going to calm down, because I get really excited and I get really creative when we go there. But I hope that this was extremely powerful for y'all. There is one screen I want to show you. It is a QR code. Let me see if I can get that up here. And if you want any of the templates and the prompts, I'm not going to give you the exact prompts we saw today, okay? But I'm going to tweak them with placeholders for you. So that way you can, it's a starter prompt for you, right? I'm going to put some fill in the blanks that you can then use AI to help you fill and customize for yourself. As well as the N8N template if you want that, okay? So you can begin toying with this. And then do not be surprised if you see something from me about a 1 or 2 day workshop about building your own AI assistant in N8N, okay? Because N8N is extremely powerful. And so not only can we have it talk to Airtable, we can actually put other features in it, like search my inbox. When I ask you to find an email, go find that email. Search my calendar. When I need you to find my events, right? So don't be surprised if you see that email come from me that says, do you want to join me for a group session on how to build your own personal AI assistant? Because yes, do not be surprised. So scan that QR code if you want some of the resources from today. I will judge them up a little bit so that way you can fill them in and tweak them for yourself. Okay. I'm in the comments. You want to pay money? Go and put your email in there. You can pay me money. I guarantee it. I've had other people ask about one-on-ones with me. I do one-on-ones as well. And so I'll include that in the follow-up email from today. And I do power hours, and it's just to sit down with you and help you ideate on what your GPT is, right? What should you be automating? Actually, my power hours are all about tech strategies, so it doesn't have to be just your GPT. But it's an hour for us to talk about tech and data strategy in your business. So you have a plan before you sit down to automate. Because many people I work with, they will invest money into outsourcing. They might have to divvy up their schedule with time. And so it's getting that strategy for what tech should I build? And then what's like the steps and how I need to build it to make it work? Can my systems actually work together to make this happen? Do I need a new tool? Can I use my tools better to do this, right? That's what that power hour is for. So I'm going to give y'all some info on that as well, okay? Now, I know I'm over time, but given that ChatGPT was brain farting on us, I think technically we were on time. It's just, the time's a little cut up today, okay? All right, y'all. If you have any final questions, I'm good to hang on. My other meeting got pushed back, so I'm good to hang on for like another 5 minutes or so. And I'm in the chat here so I can answer any questions. Yep, Abe, I saw that. So Abe is saying that she went ahead and she went to set up her own actions in ChatGPT. Yes, you can do it. Relay will not work. I've asked them. So Abe and I are in the Relay app community, and this is the reason why I keep asking them to add a feature so that webhooks can respond, right? ChatGPT needs a response, and it will work, but because you can't control the response, all ChatGPT will say is, hey, I kicked off your automation. You can't give it data back. And so because I can customize with N8N, when I created that email in Airtable, I was able to tell ChatGPT, here's the link to give the user so they can go view the email in Airtable, right? And I'm really particular about that because to me, if we're going to stitch these tools together, my workflow needs to be seamless. I don't want to kick off an automation and then wonder if it worked. I need the feedback. I need the confirmation. And so you can build the workflows in Relay for sure. But at the end, when you want to respond to ChatGPT, you cannot customize the response. So ChatGPT won't get a summary of what happened. I'm back here in the chat. Yes, Catalina, we are new BFFs. I love that. You're like, I don't care. I don't care. I love it. We're in the chat still. Mikki said, I'm just here with the praise. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yes, next level. We want all of our businesses to go next level for sure. Ave said, interesting. That workflow I just did was for my proposal drafter, creating an action that creates a Notion page. Yep, with the full proposal in it. It worked well. Exactly. Because I write documents, proposals, I write project stuff all the time. And if I could just have it put it into Notion, into Airtable, into Google Docs for me, we're saving so much time. And even controlling the formatting of it. That's why I'm really particular about formatting, because it's like, if I'm going to put it somewhere, make it look like I typed it. I don't want to go back and have more homework. Okay, y'all, it's 11:15. We are healthfully over. So we're going to wrap this up, y'all. You know where to find me. And of course, if you are ready to get on a power hour as well and just talk shop about your own business, then let me know, because I love those conversations as well.